Book of Secrets, 112 Methods to Discovery the Mystery Within, by OSHO. Chapter 48, The Potentiality of the Seed. The first question. Last night you said that a Krishna, a Christ, a Buddha, they are the climax of human possibility and growth. And then you said that Yogic and Tantric psychology put no ideal before man, and that to have an ideal is a mistake. According to Tantra, in this reference, please explain what is the difference between an inspiration and an ideal. What is the significance of inspiration in a seeker's life? Please tell whether even being inspired by a great man is a mistake on the path of a meditator. On the path of a meditator. A Buddha, a Krishna, or a Christ, they are not ideals for you. You are not to follow them. If you follow them, you will miss them, and your own Buddhahood will never be achieved. Buddhahood is ideal, not Buddha. Christhood is ideal, not Jesus. Buddhahood is different from Gautama Buddha. Christhood is different from Jesus. Jesus is only one of the Christs. You can become Christ, but you can never become Jesus. You can become a Buddha, but you can never become Gautama. Gautama became a Buddha, and you can become a Buddha. Buddhahood is a quality. It is an experience. Of course, when Gautama became a Buddha, Gautama had his own individuality. You have your own individuality. When you will become a Buddha, these two Buddhas will not be the same. The innermost experience will be the same, but the expression will be different. Absolutely different. No comparison is possible. Only at the innermost core will you be the same. Why? Because at the innermost core, there is no individuality. The individual is on the periphery. The deeper you move, the more the individual dissolves. At the innermost core, you are as if no one. At the innermost core, you are just a deep void, a nothingness, a shunya, a zero. And because of this nothingness, there is no difference. Because two nothings cannot be different, but two somethings are bound to be different. Two somethings can never be the same, and two nothings can never be different. When one becomes just absolutely nothing, a 0 point, that is similar in a Jesus, in a Krishna, in a Buddha. When you will reach to the ultimate, you will reach to this shunya, this nothingness. But your personality, your expression of that ecstasy is bound to be different. Okay. Zo. I'm Zo. Okay, Zo. But your personality, your expression of that ecstasy is bound to be different. A mirror will dance. A Buddha can never dance. It is impossible to conceive of Buddha dancing. It looks absurd. But Mira sitting under a Bodhi tree like a Buddha also looks absurd. She will lose everything. She will not be a mirror at all. She will be imitation. The real Mira can only be conceived of as dancing in ecstasy in her own love madness. This is her expression. The innermost core is the same, with Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree and the Mira dancing in mad ecstasy. The innermost core is the same. In the dancing Mira and in silently sitting Buddha, who is just like a statue, the innermost core is the same, but the periphery is different. The dancing and the silent sitting are just on the periphery. If you move within Mira, as you go deeper, the dance will cease, the Mira will cease. If you go deep into Buddha, the sitting will cease, the Buddha will cease as an individual. You can become a Buddha, but you can never become a Gautama Buddha. That is what is meant. Don't make them your ideals. Otherwise, you will start imitating them. And what can you do if you imitate? You can force something from without, but that will be a fake phenomenon. You will become pseudo, just painted. You will look master-like, more than Buddha. You can look, but that will be just a look, an appearance. Deep down, you will remain the same. And this will create a duality, a conflict, an inner anguish, and you will be in suffering. You can be in bliss only where you are authentically yourself. You can never feel any happiness when you are acting as someone else. So remember, Tantra's message, you are the ideal. You are not to imitate anyone. You are to discover yourself. Looking at a Buddha, there is no need to imitate him. When you're looking at a Buddha, the possibility hits deep in you that something of the beyond can happen. Buddha is just a symbol that something has happened to this man. And if it can happen to this man, it can happen to every man. Then the whole possibility of humanity is revealed. In a Jesus, in a Mira, in Chaitanya, just the possibility is revealed. The future is revealed. You need not be whatsoever you are. Something more is possible. So Buddha is just a symbol of the future. Don't imitate him. Rather let his life, his being, the phenomenon that is happening, become a new thirst in you. That is all. You must not be content with yourself as you are right now. Let Buddha become a discontent in you, a thirst to transcend, to go beyond, to move into the unknown. When you reach to the peak of your own being, you will know what happened to Buddha under the Bodhi tree, or what happened to Jesus on the cross, or what happened to Mira when she was dancing in the streets. You will know, but your expression will be your own. You are not going to be a Mira or a Buddha or a Jesus. You are going to be yourself. And you have never been before. You are unique. So nothing can be said. You are not predictable. No one can say what will happen, how you will manifest it, whether you will sing, dance, paint, or remain silent. No one can say. And it is good that nothing can be said. Nothing can be predicted. This is the beauty. If it is predictable that you will be like this or that, then you will become a mechanical thing. Predictions are possible only about mechanical devices. Human consciousness is unpredictable. That is its freedom. So when Tantra says don't follow ideals, it doesn't mean to deny Buddha. No, it is not a denial. Really, it is how you can find your own Buddhahood. Following another, you will miss it. Following your own path, you can gain it. You can achieve it. Someone came to a Zen master, Bokuju. Bokuju's master was very famous, well known, a great man. So someone asked, "Are you really following your master?" Bokuju said, "Yes, I am following him." But the man who asked the question was disturbed because it was well known all over the country that Bokuju was not following his master at all. So the man said, "Are you trying to deceive me? Everyone knows you are also aware that you are not following your master at all, and still you say that you are following. What do you mean?" Bokuju said, "I am following my master, because my master never followed his master. This is what I have learned from him. He was himself. This is how a Buddha, a Jesus, is to be followed. This is how they are unique. If you're really following them, you must be unique. Buddha never followed anyone, and he achieved enlightenment only in that moment, when he had completely stopped following, when he became himself, when he left all paths, all teachings, all doctrines. Then he could achieve. If you follow him, you are not following him. It is not paradoxical. It only looks so. If you follow him as a dead routine, if you imitate him, you are not following him. You never followed anyone. He never followed anyone. And only then could he become the peak. Understand him, don't follow him. And then a subtle following will happen. But that is inner, not an imitation. In Nietzsche's great work, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, the last message of Zarathustra to his disciples is, "Beware of me. Now I have told everything that was to be told to you. Now beware of me. Don't follow me. Just forget me, leave me, and go away." This is the last message of all the great masters. No great master would like to make you a puppet, because then he is killing you. He is a murderer then. He will help you to be yourself. And if you cannot be yourself in the intimacy and communication with your master, then where will you be yourself? The master means an opportunity for you to be yourself. Only small minds, narrow minds who pretend to be masters and who are not masters will try to impose themselves on you. Great masters will help you to grow on your own path. The great masters will create every barrier so that you don't become a victim of following. They will create every barrier. They will not allow it, because your tendency will be to follow. It is easy. Imitation is easy. To be authentic is arduous. And when you imitate, you don't feel responsible for it. The master is responsible. No great master has ever allowed anyone to imitate. He will create every hindrance so that you cannot imitate him. He will throw you by every means to yourself. I am reminded of one Chinese saint who was celebrating the Master's Enlightenment Day. Many followers had come. They said, "But we never heard that this man was your master. We never knew that you belonged to this man. The old man was dead," they said. "Only today we come to hear and know that you are celebrating your Master's Enlightenment Day." "This man was your master? But how? We never saw you with him," the saint replied. "I had been with him, but he had refused. He had refused to become my master. And because of this refusal, I could become myself. Now whatsoever I am is because of his refusal. I am his disciple. He could have accepted me. Then I would have thrown all responsibility on his shoulders. But he refused. And he was the last man. There was no comparison. When he refused, I could not go to anyone else because he was the only shelter. If he had refused, then there was no meaning, no purpose in going anywhere. I left going to anyone. He was the last. If he had accepted me, I would have forgotten myself, but he refused, and he refused very rudely. The refusal became a shock and a challenge, and I decided that now I would not go to anyone. If this man had refused, then there was no one worth going to. Then I started working on my own, and only then did I realize by and by why he had refused. He had thrown me to myself, and only then did I know that he had accepted me. Otherwise, why should he refuse? This looks contradictory, but this is how the deeper dynamism of consciousness works. The masters are mysterious. You cannot judge them. You cannot be sure what they are doing unless the whole thing happens. Then only retrospectively will you be able to know what they are doing. Now it is impossible. On the middle path, you cannot judge what is happening, what is being done. But one thing is certain: imitation cannot be allowed. Inspiration is a different thing. Through inspiration, you start on the journey, not on any effort of copying. You move on your own path. Inspiration is just a challenge. A thirst arises, and then you move. Tantra says, be inspired, but don't become imitators. Always remember that you are your own goal. No one else can be. And unless you achieve that point from where you can say, I have achieved my destiny, and now I am fulfilled, don't stop. Go on transcending. Go on being in discontent. Go on moving. And if you don't make any ideal, then you can be enriched by everyone. The moment you become obsessed with an ideal, you are closed. If you become obsessed with Buddha, then Jesus is not for you. Then how can Muhammad be for you? Then you are obsessed with an ideal. Then you are trying to copy it. Then all the contrary ones, all the different ones are inimical in your mind. How can a follower of Mahavira conceive of being open to Muhammad? It is impossible. He is totally different. Not only different, they are contraries. They look like polar opposites. If you put both in your mind, you will be in deep conflict. So you cannot put both. That is why followers are always enemies of others' followers. They create enmity in the world. A Hindu cannot conceive that Muhammad can be enlightened. A Mohammedan cannot conceive that Mahavira can be enlightened. A follower of Krishna cannot conceive that Mahavira can be enlightened, that Jesus can be enlightened. Jesus looks so sad and Krishna looks so blissful. Krishna's bliss and Jesus' sadness are total opposite poles. Jesus' followers cannot conceive of Krishna being enlightened. So much misery in the world, and he is playing on his flute. It looks to be so selfish. The whole world is suffering, and he goes on dancing with his gopis. The followers of Jesus will think this to be profane, but I say, followers, a Jesus and a Buddha and a Krishna can exist together without any problem, without any conflict. Rather, they will enjoy each other very much, but not the followers. Why? Why is this so? This will be so because there is a deep physiological reason. The follower is not concerned with Muhammad or Mahavira. He is concerned with himself. If he thinks both are good, he will be in difficulty. Then, whom to follow and what to do? Muhammad is with his sword in his hand, and Mahavira says that even to kill an insect means that for lives you will suffer. Muhammad is with his sword. So what to do? Muhammad goes to war and Mahavira escapes from life completely. He escapes so much that he is afraid even to breathe, because while you breathe, many lives, many lives are killed through it. He is afraid to breathe and Muhammad goes to war. How can a follower of either make accommodations for the opposite? Then his heart will be divided and he will be in conflict, constant conflict. To avoid this, he says that everyone else is wrong and only this is right. But this is his problem. This is created because he is trying to imitate. There is no need. If you are not an imitator, then you can taste the water of many rivers and many wells, and there is no problem if the taste differs. Rather, it is beautiful. You are enriched by this. Then you are open to Muhammad and Mahavira and Christ and Zarathustra and everyone. They all inspire you toward yourself. They are not ideals. They all help you to be yourself. They are not pointing towards themselves. They are pointing towards you in different ways, in different methods. They are pointing to one goal, and that is you. Laura Huxley has written a book. The name of the book is You Are Not the Target. But I tell you, you are the target of all these, of Buddha, of Mahavira, of Krishna, of Christ. They all indicate toward you. You are the target. You are the goal. Through your life is striving to achieve a unique peak. Be happy about it. Be grateful about it. Life is trying to achieve a unique goal through you. And that goal can be achieved only through you. No one else can achieve it. You are meant for it. You are destined for it. So don't waste time following others. But that doesn't mean not to get inspired. Really, if you're not following anyone, you can become inspired easily. If you are following, you have become dead. You will not get inspired. Inspiration is an openness. Following is being closed.